Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today's video is on the topic of class solidarity, altered states, and miracles. So we'll start with miracles. So I just started reading this book, In Search of the Miraculous by Ouspensky. I'm not that far in, I'm 30 pages in. But the intro is by Marianne Williamson, and if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Marianne Williamson, so I'll just read you the foreword that she wrote, which I think is so funny. I first read In Search of the Miraculous over 25 years ago. I can see myself in my mind's eye now, sitting on the grass in a peasant blouse and bell-bottoms with long hair and beaded earrings, completely dazed, as in book after book, a new world opened up before me. These were the days of my first encounters with the I Ching, the Seth books, the Tao Te Ching, and the Tarot, Russian literature, medieval philosophy, Mircea Eliade, St. Augustine, and more. All of them took me far beyond the rather narrow spiritual confines of my life at that point. Adding to the list P.D. Ouspensky and G.I. Gurdjieff, I crossed the line into full-time seeker. Over 25 years later, I'm still seeking. It gets into your blood. Anyway, I thought that was so funny, the long hair and beaded earrings. Okay, she's so real for that. Anyway, there's some really interesting stuff in this book. It's pretty fun, so I'm gonna keep reading it, of course. I'll keep you updated with some more fun quotes as I finish it. And what else I wanted to talk about? Class solidarity and altered states. Yeah, class solidarity, okay. No one has less class solidarity than the people who are buying $6.22 lattes and who just got their first salary job or something. It's so crazy how people treat service workers as non-human, which it always surprises me because I think that's why working in the service industry is really good for you as a human being, because it just keeps you in touch with things. You just are a normal person, because there are some people and they just are so rude that they just and it's not even their fault either. It's because they've dehumanized you so much and that you're only there to serve them. And they're obviously better than you because they have a salary and health benefits and everything, and they would never get stuck working a dead-end job like this. And so they just look down on you so much. And it's conditioned into them from childhood, of course, because I'm sure you've heard parents point out a janitor or a service staff and say, you must study hard or you'll end up being them, or working in McDonald's. Even though certainly many people in the service industry had 4.0 GPAs, but parents still tell this to their children. And there's also an inverse lack of class solidarity too, because then I do the same thing against them, because I'm oh, look at you with your little bullshit job and you're contributing nothing to society, and every day is the same and it's all pointless and you don't actually get to make a difference in anyone's lives. You're just a little hamster on a wheel. So then I'm looking down on them, and it's just cultivating this atmosphere of animosity. So I don't really know what to say about that, except that class solidarity, keeping it in mind, is very difficult but very important. So I would encourage you to reflect on how you treat all your other working class, the people that you meet in your day-to-day life, and try not to be so full of hatred and disdain towards them for the job that they have. And then altered states. Yeah, so this is another funny thing. So yeah, I work today. I feel it's so much easier to make videos when I work because I'm already talking. And then on days when it's my day off, I don't have the motivation to make videos because I just don't say a single word for the entire day. And then I'm just I'm not really in the mood for it. But then when I work, then I'm yeah, I feel inspired to make a video now. Because I'm just my voice is warmed up, the vocal cords and all that. So anyway, altered states. Yeah, I work with a coworker. And several of my coworkers do this. Actually, 3 of them do, which is kind of crazy because that's a lot of people. And there's not that many staff, so it's a weird proportion. But okay, what they do is they're on a call the entire shift, a FaceTime, or just they just have it on their AirPods, but a lot of the time a FaceTime with someone for their entire shift. And it's what is this other person doing? A lot of times I glimpse at their screen and the other person's just staring at the screen, but maybe they're at work too or something. I don't even know. But I just think that's so weird because it's you're on a separate plane. You're not actually connected to what's directly in front of you, which is your work and the people that you're interacting with, because you have someone else talking in your ear the entire time. And I don't know exactly, I don't want to make any moral judgments on this per se, but I find it really strange because you just are very disconnected from your actual surroundings. And maybe that's kind of a cool thing. I don't personally believe this, because I do think it's very important to not, when you're at your job, not to do it so mechanically and just going through the motions, but to like really focus your awareness. So I just think that it's just very strange. Like I would never, like I also just can't focus on that many things. So I find it very strange when someone is like having a conversation with me, serving customers, and they're talking to someone on the phone. It's like, how do you even do that? Like, so maybe I should respect them a little bit for being more advanced and being in an altered state of reality where they're just like, like you're just on different planes at once, which I feel like I'm kind of locked into one plane, but like obviously there's always the fantasy going at the same time as the real life, but I feel like I'm like a little bit more locked into real life and then occasionally drift into fantasy, whereas like fully being on like different planes, that's just, freaks me out a little bit. Anyway, and like altered states, yeah, oh my gosh, because I was like, I got a whiff of someone's weed when I was walking to the subway, and like, I feel like in a cartoon when they smell the pie and they're, like that's how I was, because like, I used to be like a daily stoner for like 5 years, and I literally haven't spent $1 on weed since August, which is like 6 months or something, probably like that, which is like crazy. Like, I've smoked other people's weed since then, like not that often, like maybe like 3 times or something. I was just like I miss it so much, but I also think being sober is kind of cool. So I'm gonna keep up the sobriety streak, and like I mostly did it for like frugality, like frugal reasons, because I just kind of realized like you don't need to spend that much money on things. Like you don't need to buy drugs and stuff. Like you can just go through day-to-day life sober. And like another thing that I stopped doing, I stopped buying groceries. I'm like, no, I still buy groceries now and then, like it's like a specific thing that I want, or like a specific ingredient. But like you don't need to go grocery shopping every week. Like stop buying new food, because like if you like I don't know about you, because like I know that some people are really like zero waste and they like are really on top of this sort of thing, but I was always raised to be in like a family where you're just buying groceries every week by default, and so your pantry is just piling up, things are expiring, you throw it out, or like just like massive amounts of food waste, or like stockpiled food that you're never going to touch. And I think that food, in a way, does have like this mental expiry date, where like if you bought it long enough ago, you either forgot about it or there's just something, because you're a different person when you bought it, so that it's just like off to you. So you're more likely to be cooking and eating the things that you bought in like the last week or so. And it's just like, once I started doing this thing where I'm not buying groceries anymore, I just started like going through all the stuff in my pantry that I had, and I was like I could honestly probably eat for months with just the things that I've stockpiled. And I think that like most people are like this, to be honest, just from like other people's houses that I've seen. And it's just like, dang, you like your fridge, you could just have a mini fridge. And like in other countries, I think it's more common, like especially like depending on your lifestyle, but like it's more common to just have like a very small fridge, and you're not, or like also if you're just like buying food day to day and you're just buying what you need for that day. I think that's also a better way to live than like the suburban lifestyle of like loading up a car with groceries, or like God forbid getting groceries delivered to your house. I mean, unless you're like physically disabled and that's essential to you, but like I've seen people get groceries delivered and it's like they did not need to be getting a car's worth of groceries just delivered. Anyway, and like yeah, also like you don't need to be buying like so much crazy stuff, because I read this in Henry David Thoreau's Walden, like so he told this story of this guy who just like ate dried corn for months, and he just like as an experiment to show that you could do it. And then I also read in Tolstoy, like Tolstoy's diet, the Tolstoy diet, he basically ate like gruel and like like bread with some like jam on it and that sort of thing. Like that's pretty much what he's eating. So I went to Bulk Barn and I got like gruel, like it's called like 12 grain cereal or something, but it's literally just this like mix of like millet and like wheat bran and that sort of thing. And you just boil it with some water and like so yeah, like, and also like Buddhists also kind of eat this like really plain food, or like kind of simple food. I just think it's like, and because like in the I Ching it says like if you have an inner source of frugality, you have this inner wealth that nothing can take away from you. And it's so true. Okay, once you learn to eat gruel every day instead of like cooking some like 5-course meal or whatever, or like eating out so often, like things just become more simple to you, and just like more, you learn what you need to value in your life instead of putting weight into all these arbitrary things. So that's the video for today. I don't want to make it too long, but I hope that this was somewhat interesting or entertaining, and thank you for watching.